take over.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there people in the training room, Russ?
There's one.
Hello. Okay, great. Well, for 1 second, if you guys can take your faces on camera, if you're willing. I just want to see who I've got here.
Is that loud enough? You want louder?
No, that's like perfect.
Hello, Mary. Thank you.
You decide. You want
Hi,
to?
Tim. Thank you. Trevor. Good job. Alex. Robert. I've got some accolades for Robert today. Let's see.
You want lights off? Is that
Anyone else want to dare to get on for a second?
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Oh, hi, Heather. Thank you. It's good to see faces, put faces with names. I appreciate that. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to share the screen, and you don't have to be on camera the whole time. I like to know when you're falling asleep, though, so I know if I'm being boring. So if you're bored, you know, this is a interactive situation too. So if you have questions, or you can just ask anytime. You don't have to save it till the next slide or whatever. Okay. So we are going to, oh, Russ, I need to share the screen if you're still there.
He stepped out.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he just stepped out for a little bit.
Okay, well, he needs to enable my screen share, or else you're gonna be looking at my face the whole time, which is unacceptable. Let's see. Russ, Orchard. Okay, so we're gonna talk about relocation today, and there's a lot more to it than you would think. Okay, so we'll just kind of start. The agenda today is really to cover the relocation department and who does what in the department, and what the function of the relocation department is within Century 21 Everest. Some of the basics we're going to talk about are incoming business, outgoing business, inter-office business, and some other things for you to just have in the back of your mind as you're talking to clients. And some opportunities might come up for you. If you don't know that these opportunities exist, then you can't really present them, right? So we're just going to educate you on all things relocation today. And then other things are just services for all company agents that you may or may not know about. So hopefully Russ will get in there to help us share the screen, and we'll go from there. My name is Heather Barker, Director of Relocation. There's 5 employees that work under the relocation umbrella. And so I'm not showing my screen, I better keep my face on here. And Debbie Thompson is one of those. She covers our corporate business.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you there, Russ?
Yes, I am now. I was headed back downstairs. But what do you need?
I need to be able to share the screen. It won't let me.
Oh. All right. I might have to run downstairs in order to do that. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I got to get back. I got to get to my office because that's the host is down there.
Okay. Thanks.
Give me 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so that would be Debbie Thompson, Diana Valenzuela. Diana is a great resource. If I'm not around, Diana Valenzuela is always here in the office. We're all on the 6th floor. With the COVID and everything, we've been working, some of us have been working in the office, some of us have been working out of office, but most everybody's starting to come back. So Diana is a good name to remember. I wish you could see her picture. Nancy Smith is also part of the team. She works on our LDS Church account. So we do business with the LDS Church. We relocate their like seminary teachers and institute teachers and welfare services, their facility managers. So there's a lot of business that goes on with the church that you might not think about if you're familiar with the LDS Church here in Utah. And we hold the account with them. So we're doing a lot of business with them. And so Diana and Nancy are both on that account. And then Monica Guanajuato, she is our relocation transaction coordinator. And so you guys hopefully are utilizing the relocation transaction coordinators for the company. We have one specifically for relocation because the business is just a tiny bit different in how it has to be handled. And so it made sense just to have our own. She also handles e-leads. So internet business that comes into the company, she also works on that. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later. I wish you could see the screen because this is really weird just seeing my face, but the definitions on the business we're going to talk about. There's outgoing broker-to-broker referrals, and I'll ask about this later. So an outgoing referral is any buyer or seller need that you have that's outside your market area. So if you just cover the Salt Lake Valley, for instance, and you have a need in Logan, and you don't think it's the best use of your time, that would be considered an outgoing referral. Actually, that would actually be an inter-office referral, which we're going to talk about next. But let's say they're moving to Idaho, and we don't have any of our in-house agents in Idaho. That would be an outgoing referral, okay? Inter-office broker-to-broker referrals would be like sending it to Logan. We do have an agent that covers that marketplace for us, and she does a really good job. Oh, good. It's letting me share the
Yeah,
screen.
you should be good to go now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, you guys can see that, okay? I'm gonna assume
Yeah,
you
I can see it.
Okay. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, so inter-office referrals, we just mentioned that. An incoming broker-to-broker referral would be if some other company is sending us a lead. So we get those quite often. We're well-known in the industry. We do good business that way. And so we do receive broker-to-broker referrals incoming as well. Third-party corporate referrals. This is, you may have run into this in your prospecting adventures. Someone is being relocated with their job. And we're going to talk about what you say to someone who might tell you they can't work with you because they're being relocated and they have to use a relocation trained agent. All right, so we're going to cover that. And we're also going to talk about affinity business. I'm not going to actually read these bullet points because it'll take away all the fun later, but we're going to be talking about what that means and how you can benefit from it. Agent generated referral business. This is business that you bring into the relocation department through programs that are available for you to use with your clients. This would include someone who's relocating with their job. It would include someone that you enroll into an affinity benefit program, which we're going to talk about. And so there's just a lot of different types of business within the relocation sphere that it's good for you to know. So what exactly is the function of the relocation department? So we're both a profit center for the company, and we're also an agent service center. So the incoming referral business would be company generated business that we're bringing into the company. There is a team of agents that we have that we feed this business to. We'll talk about that at the very end. And it's all the business we just talked about, okay? And plus like call-in leads and other business development that we bring into the company. That's our role. That's part of our role. But another part, that's a very big part of what we do is agent services, which is why it's important for you to understand that there are services here for you and where to go to understand more about those services or, to utilize them. So we're going to talk about outgoing broker-to-broker referrals, the inter-office referrals, the listing advantage that you have just by working with a company that has a relocation department, guidance and education on how to manage a relocation transaction when it comes your way, and community information that we provide for your clients, business development partnerships, and the Ever Smooth Concierge program is something that we brought in last year. First, we're going to talk about outgoing referrals. And this is where I'm going to shout out to Robert Campos. He must have been at sales meeting yesterday. He sent 3 outgoing referrals. Robert, thumbs up. That's really cool. And they're Spanish speaking needs. So just so you know, if there's a language need that you have that's outside your marketplace, we can usually always find someone for any language. Sometimes it takes us a little longer if it's not a more common language, but almost always we can find someone with Spanish speaking needs. So keep that in mind. But congratulations, Robert. We're hopeful that these are going to close for you. So good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. So one of the things, what this means, of course, we talked about this, that it's any buyer or seller need outside your marketplace. These are things you should be talking about with your clients. I like to talk about an experience of the secret agent experience, right? Where I like to tell this story about my family. My dad was asking me questions about a listing that was in his market area in Kaysville, and he kept calling me saying that he had called this other agent. And I kept providing him with some additional information, and he kept calling me saying he talked to this other agent outside of our company, outside of everything. And I was talking to my husband at the time, and I said, why does he keep doing that? Why doesn't he just use me? You know, I mean, I'm licensed. I don't do full-time real estate or anything, but with family, you know. And my husband said, well, maybe he doesn't know you're an agent. And I said, I've been an agent for 12 years at the time. I'm like, why wouldn't he know that? So it was Christmas and we went to the Christmas party, and after dinner, and the whole family was gathered, and he said, you know, Heather has an announcement to make. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not pregnant. Like, everybody's like, really? What? So it was a pretty funny experience, actually. I just said, hey, I just want y'all to know that I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Utah. And if you have a real estate need, I can help you. I mean, this is my 5 siblings and my parents, okay? And their wives and husbands. And they all said, what? Really? You are? You can help us buy a house? I'm like, okay. I mean, this is just a really good example of if you're not talking about it and explaining about it, how people don't know you can help them, right? So just know this is something you should be talking to every person you talk to about. Let them know that you can help them anywhere. We even are placing international referrals now. So if you have a need anywhere, I'd say in the world, but really the United States is the easiest. Outgoing international does take longer to place, but we have a lot of resources that are coming up and are really good. So just make sure people know you can help them, and you'll start seeing these opportunities coming your way. I'm interested, Robert, if you want to share, like you were just at sales meeting. I mentioned it in sales meeting in passing, like, were you like, oh, or were you like interested? Were you already trying to place these on your own, or what was the deal?
Well, with them, you know, people that I know, so I'm from Venezuela, and there's a lot of Venezuelan people living in the US, especially states like Florida, Texas. And I just, you know, I talked to most of my SOI, just letting them know. And I also posted on social media what I was doing. So these people just contacted me. Well, these are really close ones. That's an advantage. But there has been others that, you know, contacted me and have been asking questions and stuff. So I'm filtering them. And once I know they're kind of ready to go or maybe close, that's when I will submit the information for you guys. Those 3 that I submitted yesterday, I've been talking to them for about 2 months. And one is ready to go. And the other one's just like, one is a couple months probably ready to go, and the other one probably next year.
Sure. Yeah, that is fantastic. We typically like them to be ready to go within 6 months to place them, just because of follow-up purposes. But you know, we'd rather place them and have the assigned agent following up with them, and we'll get you monthly updates on those. So but that's awesome. So you just put it out there that you can help them, and look what happened. So that's really a great story. I love it.
Thank you.
So how do we place them? Like why should you work through us instead of placing them on your own? There's a lot of reasons. And one of them is like we have a team here in the Utah market and in the California market. They are required to have 2 years full-time experience in the industry. To be on this particular networks team, they must have 8 to 10 transactions closed per year. And so what the goal is that when we're sending your people into the marketplace that we're going to make sure they have someone that's qualified, experienced, knowledgeable, that knows the market, knows real estate, and will really be there to do a good job representing them. They also are required to attend trainings every year. What that means is we expect you to contact the clients within 24 hours of receipt of the information. We expect that we'll have an update within 48 hours of initial contact. We expect that we'll have an update from you once a month until closing. So that's how strict this network is that we use. And that is the Realogy referral partner network. And so Realogy covers, I don't know if you know this, but Realogy is our mothership, right? And they have different brands that they work with. It's going to include Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, Sotheby's, and Better Homes and Gardens are the 5 main brokerages that are under that umbrella. So those are the companies. So when you're replacing it, it's not necessarily going to be just a Century 21 agent that calls them. We do support the brand as much as we can because we love our brand, and so we want to support that brand. But when we have another option in the market that we know has these qualified agents trained, that's where we go first before we go outside network. Okay. So once I'm going to just go, I told you about the follow-up. I'm going to go into the other ways that we place. If there's not if this is Cardis Network, they just changed the name to Realogy. But if we don't have one in the Realogy network, then we go to the Century 21 network, which has 2,400 broker partners across the country. If we can, and that part of that is the American Relocation Alliance. And you're like, why do we care about this? Well, so this is where we network. Like we've been building these relationships with these other companies in other states for years. So I'm actually the president right now of the American Relocation Alliance, and it is a Century 21 branded company. So if I go to a network, if I go into an area where there isn't a Realogy brand that participates, I'm going to go to this Relocation Alliance and see which Century 21 makes the most sense. And if they cover that area, that relationship is powerful. They want to do a great job for us. Same thing with the Relocation Directors Council. If there's not a Realogy brand out there that makes sense, because we're also looking at who has market share, who's going to be the best fit and the best resource for your client. Then we'll go to the Relocation Directors Council, and that's all the brands. So including leading real estate companies of the world. So for those of you, if there's anyone here from California, you might be familiar, or you might know that you were Troop before you were Everest, Century 21 Everest. So Troop was part of this leading real estate companies of the world, and that's because they were an independent brand. So we even have access to the independent brands. So I just want you to know, we're always going to be able to place it. And this is kind of the process we use in order to place referrals. And we're going to only go with people that are qualified. And one of the best things about using us is that we're going to make sure your client's being taken care of. And if they're not, then we own the relationship between us and that other brokerage. And we can go ahead and move it. So we're always there to make sure your client's happy and being well taken care of. So the biggest thing is, of course, right, communication. So if you stay in touch with your clients, you don't have to on these. You can do a give and go approach where you just give it to us and you just go away and wait for your check. But it's always better, I think, to create relationships in the world, right? So you're creating a relationship with the assigned agent and making sure they understand that you're following up with your client. It's just that extra push to make sure that the communication is happening between the client and the agent, and that you're developing a relationship. So if they have anything they're sending to Salt Lake City or to Simi Valley, California, who do you think they're going to call? All right. So those are all reasons to be involved with the transaction, but you can be as involved or as uninvolved in these as you want. We've got you, or you've got your client. We're going to take care of it. Some additional services for out of market clients, lender assistance. So Inspiro, one of our preferred lender company, they actually will assist us with lender placements when the client is open to it. So if we're talking to a buyer, we ask them if they need a lender, if they've already been pre-qualified. And if they say, no, we need a lender, then one of their resources is going to be the Inspiro family of companies. So Inspiro is not going to be necessarily the name of the company that they're referred to, but they will assist with the lender, a bit with that lender service. And if there's issues with the lending side of things, then we can go to our Inspiro partners and ask for assistance that way. There's national community information. I'll show you what that looks like that we send out. And then there's door-to-door concierge service. So we're going to talk a little bit later about Everest Moves. That's a national opportunity. So your clients can use that whether they're here local or they're national. They have a national need. So it's a really great services that we can provide to your clients. As you can see, it's not just about placing the referral for an agent. So national partnerships and discounts. I was talking about this also yesterday, that you actually have, Robert knows I need to update this slide, but you also know that there are national, who has been in their 21 online business benefits? Have you guys gotten on there and looked around? If you haven't, I suggest you do that. If you just up in the search bar, you go into 21 online, you go into the search bar and just put benefits. There's going to be benefits that pop up, benefits for you as an agent and benefits for your customers and clients. So this is where you find these discounts that you can get them. The two most popular ones are pods. That's a 10% discount off of the pods. And budget truck rentals are 20% off of pricing. And so if you go in there, it'll give you the instructions you give to your client in order for them to utilize these benefits. For you guys, there's going to be like Verizon discounts or, different phone partnerships. I guess I don't know if Verizon's in there. I would assume it is, but if you're not already looking at those and taking advantage of those, you should be. Okay. If you already have, even if you already have a account with them, you'll get a discount on your current bill. Okay. So make sure you're looking at those if you haven't already. These are examples. These partnerships are examples of affinity relationships that we're going to talk about later. So we are partnered with these various companies through Century 21, the brand. They have an agreement with these companies and it benefits both companies because it makes you more of a customer if you're getting a discount with that company, or you might change companies because you could get a discount with a different one, right? So that's what we would call an affinity relationship. All right, so how to place a referral. So you always have to get permission first. Like I don't want to be calling these clients, having them say, why are you calling me? Okay, so you have to get permission to refer them. And then you're going to gather some basic information. Of course, you need to send the client name and phone number for sure. I can't do anything without that. But what we also would like is an email address. We'd like their current property address and where they're moving, what they're looking for. So I can always call and get the information, but that's if you're going to send a complete referral, then that's what we need. You send the information to me at relo@c21everest.com. Or you can call me and leave me a message. That is my office phone. And I'll take it any way you want to send it. I prefer email just because we have paper trail. So that's my preference, but I will take it however you need to get it to me, okay? And that's it. All you have to do, and then you're done. What happens from that point is that I will call your client. I will introduce myself as your partner, working with you to get them the best agent in this market where they're headed. I'll ask more questions. Most of the time I'm asking about timing. I'm letting them know that my role is to make sure they're happy with their agent. So they're welcome to communicate with me directly or go through Robert, for instance, to let me know if there's any issues. And then we're going to go ahead and get that placed. And I set the expectation that they should hear from somebody within 24 hours. And, and if they don't, to let us know. But we're typically, if we place it, that's the rule, is that they get contacted right away. If we're going out of that network, then I usually will follow up with the assigned agent, make sure that we have seen initial contact report back. So does that seem easy enough? I mean, it takes you 5 minutes to place it. And yesterday I was going over my numbers. Yeah, I'm going to just see if I still have those up. I think I can remember most of them. But when I was looking them up yesterday, we sent 38 outgoing referrals this month. We've also had several closings, and our highest closing so far this year is $6,900. That is the amount the agent received back. The lowest one that came in as paid was at $624. And our current average for 2021 is $2,673. So for that amount of time to place that, it's worth it to just kind of keep it in the front of your mind when you're talking to people, that it's just something that you can do, that you provide a great service for these people, and you also will get paid for it at the end. I was telling you yesterday, we also have one that's pending right now, and that agent is going to come away with over $20,000 because she just placed the referral. We kind of already talked about updates, 24 hours, 48 hours. We always like to get something within 2 weeks, because if they're a really active buyer, they're going to be doing something, they'll be looking at homes, that sort of thing. But after that, it's every 30 days. So you should see an update from us. The idea behind this is, why do we do this for our agents? It's important to be part of this network that we do send each other business, broker to broker business. So that's what's in it for us. The more business we send out, the more business we get in, for instance, to the company. So this will save you time for looking for an agent, finding a qualified agent. You're not going to have to do any follow-ups. You're going to earn extra money. It's going to enhance the service that you provide your clients. You don't need to rebuild it. It's already there for you. Future business opportunities with repeat customers. Also referrals, family referrals, we're always looking for those, right? And then it will keep you focused. The biggest thing is it keeps you focused on your local business, which is where you make your most money. So we want to make sure that you can still provide this service while still focusing on the business that you're supposed to be doing. We always follow up on with referring agents. You don't have to, and our network is incredible. How do you get paid? I want to make sure you know the payout on this. So traditionally, I think you'll know, like that most agents will send and receive direct agent to agent referrals at 25%. The network actually pays out 21% of the function commission. So you will receive 100% of that minus the franchise fee. So any money we receive in as a company has to have that franchise fee paid. So we don't do a split on top of that. We just will pay you whatever we get, whatever we can pay you, we pay you. So an example on a $400,000 sale would be $2,500 to you. Any questions about outgoing referrals? All right. Agent scripting. This is in your script book. So all of this should be in there. But my biggest thing, if you do nothing else today and you just take away, ask if they have a need outside this marketplace. That's the most important question to learn today. All right. So as you're making your calls and someone's like, no, I'm good here, I don't have anything going on. What about outside this marketplace? Do you have a need outside this marketplace? And let them know that you can help them anywhere. If they're looking for a second home or an investment opportunity in any market, we can get them information on that. That's just the powerful thing to be able to offer, I think. Some of the ways that we help you promote it, we always do social media posts. We're trying to do this every month. These are two of my favorites that we've done, and they're just really general. So I'll send those to you. Oops. I'll send those to you after the meeting. Russ will send you out an email with some information on all this stuff. But I love the one, the world is 70% water. Your Century 21 Everest agent can help you everywhere else. And then I also like make your move across the country as simple as a move across the street. And the one we sent you won't have Karen Perry's information on it. I keep forgetting to change that. It's just Century 21 Everest, so that you can post it and let them know, that you can help them anywhere. So that's one thing. The one we did so we always post these to the company page, and we'll start sending them out again, I think this month, when we have a new one, so you can just repost it. But if you're just on the company page and you're, you follow that, then you should be able to just repost it on your site. The one we did for May is whether you're moving out of your mom's basement or back into it, no matter where she lives, we can help. So we try to keep it fun. We try to make it seasonal. But we have these built up. So if you ever need anything like that, just reach out to me directly and I can send you what we have that's neutral. There's also going to be a packet you receive, and it's the relocation packet concerning all of this, all outgoing referral business. One of the things that I can set that you will also be sent is this flyer. You can put your picture and your information here, and you can hand this out if you're door knocking or whatever. If you want to put it in your listing presentation, your buyer presentation, you can use it there, wherever you feel like you want to use it. The complimentary referral service flyer, that is something that I've had agents use at open houses. And now that things are opening back up and more open houses will hopefully start happening, this is just something you can have on hand and gather information to send referral business. So it's just an extra thing you can do. If you think about calling a for sale by owner and they're like, no, I'm just going to sell on my own, find out where they're going. If they're going out of state, let them know you can help them. It's just another thing you can talk about with these people. So I'm just trying to keep thinking of ideas on how you can promote this. So that's about it on outgoing business. I want to talk a little bit about the inter-office referrals. Because we have a little bit more control over those. We do pay you the full 25% because that's in office, broker to broker in office. When you send it to me, then I place it with one of our team agents. You don't have to use us for these, but we recommend it, especially if you're trying to build relationships with other market areas like St. George or Logan or Simi Valley, California, where you have those. Place them through us. We'll start getting you set up with those relationships, but you do get the full 25% minus the franchise fee, and that's how you get paid on those. Okay. So don't forget that we have offices in California, and California, don't forget we have offices in Utah, right? So keep that in mind. All right, we're moving on. Any questions about any of this so far? You guys will just pop in when you have a question, right? All right. Okay. Incoming third-party business. This is corporate business. So this is just some of the companies that we've worked with. Okay. Some of the bigger ones we work with are Heirs. Grable, Altair, Plus. One of my favorites is NEI. Are down here? Yep, NEI. The biggest one we work with though is Cardis. And we also work with Serva. So all these companies we've worked with, okay? If the biggest thing here is just to know that because we have a full service staff, full service relocation department, we are members of the Employee Relocation Council, which is a national organization around this business. Then people like to work with us, and they like to work with us because they know we'll train our agents how to handle this business. One of the other things that people like, listings like it because they know that we're helping people that are moving to the area for their jobs. So the listing advantage really is that having an award-winning relocation department means that we're receiving a lot of this business that's coming into the state through these third-party relocation management companies. So listing advantage is that we're receiving buyers that are moving into Utah from other states for their jobs. So it's a nice thing to promote. It's not like all or nothing, like, you know, we don't release numbers, we don't do any of that, but it's just for them to know. It's another talking point that you can have in your arsenal when you're doing a listing presentation. That, you know, we work with all the third-party relocating companies that are coming into this market, and we're going to have first shot at those buyers for our listings. So let's say you're talking to somebody and you're doing a presentation. They say, hey, I'm so sorry. I just found out that my company, since they're providing me these benefits for moving to another state, that we have to work with a relocation agent assigned by the relocation company. Your answer should just be, great, we have a full service relocation department and we can work with any relocation company. So then you always want to call us if they say, oh, really? Well, how does that work? You will just tell them to request you and you can give them my information. That company can reach out to us. They can see that we're listed in the ERC. They can do some background on us and know that we can help. At that point, you would want to register the client's name with us and let us know who the relocation company is. Your client can provide their information to us and we can call them. So however you want to do it, just make sure they understand that, oh, we have a full service relocation department. We can work with any relocation company. It doesn't matter who they are. And what that means to the relocation company is that we're going to be willing to pay a referral fee. There's always going to be a referral fee attached to those transactions. And when you think about it, these companies are providing, their companies providing relocation benefits, but they want everything to run through that relocation company. So sometimes that means a lot of paperwork, and sometimes it means it's just direct reimbursement. So there's all different levels of policies and transactional things that have to happen to make those transactions successful. A direct reimbursement transaction would just be handled like a normal transaction. So that would only require a report from you and some updates. But if it's the type of program that we call a buyer value option program, that's going to involve lots of disclosures. It's going to have a company coming on as the seller at the last minute instead of your homeowner. So there's a lot to the transaction is what I'm saying. So the reason we're involved in those transactions is to make sure we walk you through it. And that company is not going to have to train you. So when you get a pre-marketing work order, this is where they're being relocated and there's going to be a report due for the valuation of the home. It's going to involve some paperwork. What do you do with it? Let's say it just comes to you directly and we aren't involved initially at all. We're here to make sure you have what you need to complete that business in the right way. So don't be afraid that we're going to take anything from you if that happens. Make sure you come up so that we can educate you on the process and be here as a resource for you. That's my role. That's our role here at the company, is to be a resource for you. So it's always better if you just have it come through us. We will have to pay a referral fee, and that is determined by the company. It's not determined by us. And you will do a broker's market analysis, which we call a BMA, and it's going to be on a specific form. And the form has a lot of weird fields in it, and we'll help you fill that out. And then we'll walk through how to process the offer and explain all the forms that are required. So just know, if you do receive something directly, don't be afraid to come up to us. We don't mess with your splits or anything on those. We just make sure that you are prepared and that you come out looking like a rock star at the other end, okay? Affinity business and partnerships. So we were talking earlier about the business benefits that we offer your clients through the Century 21 brand, and then also benefits for you, right? Those are business relationships that create a benefit for employees or members. So we actually have one that we set up with the LDS Church, and it's not for members of the church to use, but it is for employees of the church to use. So a flyer like this one is actually on their webpage. And so if the employee is looking at their business benefits, like we do on 21 Online, they might run across this flyer and they might call us and register to use the program. And so this can be used with any company that's interested. So if you know business owners or someone in a human resource department for a company, recruiters for a company, or any C-level leaders of a company. So as you're going through your sphere of influence, you might be thinking like, oh, I know so-and-so who worked for this company, who is very close with the owner, like anything like that, then that would be a good partnership to investigate to see if this type of a program would work to put on their website. If they offer business benefits to their employees, there's a lot of companies that have these in-house or in-office programs that they offer to their employees as business benefits. It's very common right now that you could be engaged with and get set up for them. So I don't have time to go out and call all these companies and find out, what the resource, who's in charge and what would I do to make this happen for them and how do we partner with you? We're doing some of that, but we just don't have time to do all of that, right? So what we do is we've offered to put this out to our agents, and I want to make sure you know about it. Even if it's just a passing thought right now, just put it in the back of your mind as an opportunity for you to gain some residual business. So what does that look like? You would set up the appointment, and I'll tell you Fridays are the best day for me, but you would set up an appointment with the person that you want to talk to. What will we do for you once we have that appointment? We go and we talk to them. We'll partner with you on presenting the program to your potential partner. We'll do transaction and report tracking because we already have all that in place. It is a national program. So whether they're buying here locally, or if they're buying in Idaho, we can still offer these same benefits to them, okay? What happens for you on those is that you will retain 30% of the company dollar that we receive. It will be yours to keep. So if you end up with a company that's in 3 states, for instance, then it would be something you'd want to look into, right? If you know the owner of that company. So keep that in mind. If we receive an incoming lead here, then you're the agent that would have the first right of refusal on the local business, and you'd be paid on your normal split on that. So if we offer a benefit, a cashback benefit in the program, because we would develop the program together on what you want to offer as benefit, we would show you what's common and what we do for ours when we develop them, what's kind of common in the industry, and then you can help decide how you want it to roll for the client. But you would pay out that benefit at closing as a cashback benefit if you decide to do that, and then you'll just be paid on your normal split. We don't upcharge it. We don't do anything like that. For us, our hope is that it will create business outside your market, and then that's when the company would make some additional monies on that. Does that sound interesting to you guys?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it does. It sounds great.
Okay, cool. So just know there's other ways that you can work your real estate business to create additional opportunities for you. So one of the benefit partners that we have, it's called Realogy Military Rewards. Now, I like to talk about this just to also make you aware that there are affinity programs that we're involved with, that we're receiving incoming business for, but you can also generate some of these referrals on your own. Now, this would require it's 30% down here, but it's 25% referral fee is what they've changed it to. We don't upcharge it. You're on your normal split, but it would require a 25% referral fee. But if you're going in and you're competing for a listing and you walk into the house and you see military photos and you see flags, and you see this whole, you see this situation where it looks like a good opportunity to register them for this program, they would receive a cashback benefit. I have flyers on it. I can send you documentation on it if you know you're going to meet with someone who's in the military. It's an opt-in program. It's not something you have to do. It's just I want to make sure you're aware of it because it does give you a competitive edge. It's a unique service. I had one agent that was on the team that would just keep a flyer in her listing presentation. And as she came to it, she would just say, are you guys in the military? Do you have any military contact through your family? And if they said yes, then she would offer to put them in this program. And the way that she looked at it was, this is one way I can give back to those that serve the country, and so she just looked at it as a benefit that she can offer to these military families. And it's not, like I said, it's not something you have to do. It's just something I want you to be aware of that you can do. And they would receive a cashback benefit. It's based on the sales price of the home. And let's see, I think I do have the breakdown for you so you can kind of see a couple of them. The other one that's kind of coming up in the ranks is AARP. And the really, card is just signed with AARP, and it's just kind of getting bigger and bigger. We expect it to start growing. There's 30 million members with AARP. So it's something that's going to start coming up. If you place the referral, then it's 25%. If we call you and place it with you because it's been requested, you can say no, and we will say no for you. But what that means is that person has enrolled in the program and they're interested in knowing about it. And the referral fee on that is 40%. So just be aware of it as you start hearing about it. Just know that there's an opportunity there for you to save and also offer clients the benefit. So, but yeah, if you're working with someone and they enroll themselves, typically what happens, they'll call us and we'll say, no, they're not on the team. I'll call them and see if they're interested. We'll call you and you can say no, and we'll go back and say, no, we're not interested in participating. And then your client, you're gonna have to deal with your client to explain why you can't help them with it, or, but we do our best to make sure we protect you, and we do have the opportunity to say no, but just know that that is then something that will be something you have to deal with. So, but here there is an $85 background check that would have to do if we have you working with military people, which seems kind of funny because like, well, I'm bringing them to the program, but it's just it's every 5 years. And it's just another service that is offered to these military people where security and things are super important to them. So that's something that they require us to do. All right. Criteria to qualify. They have to be either active military, veteran military, or have military family. So really anyone can qualify if they have one of those three things. The benefits run from $350 to $7,500 in cash back and rewards in participating states. Utah and California are both participating states. And here's kind of a breakdown and idea based on price. So let's say it's $400 to $450, they'd get $2,000 back. Okay. I'm not going to go into all these things, but I will say, more than anything, like the reason we talk about it is to make sure you're aware of it more than anything. So does anybody have any questions about this? Okay, just know if it comes up, if any of these programs come up, like there's all kinds of programs out there right now. It's kind of getting bigger and bigger in the industry. So anytime you get word on a program, or they're like, hey, I'm interested in Navy Federal, or I'm interested in Better Mortgage, or I'm interested in then say, yeah, let me check with our relocation department on that, and then call me. Let's get the information to you so that you're at least educated on what to say and how to handle, maybe you don't want to do the referral and you want to know how to handle, working with them on it. So just know, we're here as a resource for you when these kinds of things come up. All right, rental finding team. Anyone can be on the rental finding team if you want to. Most of the time we get a fee for that, and sometimes we don't. So, but most of the time we do. If we're going to call you with a rental tour, then we're gonna pay you something for it, in most cases. So it's typically $300 or more. We actually charge $685, but there's one company that sends us the most rental tours and they are around 300. And we can use people for this team. And, one of the reasons you might want to be on it is just because it gives you experience showing properties. Another reason to be on it is that you get in with the relocation department. So if someday you want to be on the team when you've been in the business long enough, that sort of thing, you're going to be the next person on the list. But basically what that looks like is that you're actually going to be scheduling showings for a one-day tour. You're going to assist with any lease agreements that come up. You're going to report to the corporate client the results of the tour and educate the tenant on how to do more searches on their own if needed. So you're going to provide them with resources. Then you're going to add that client to your sphere of influence and you're going to stay in touch with them just like you would the rest of your sphere. So that's another reason to do it. I think the rental industry is somewhere that it's just kind of a missed opportunity. I think there's a lot of gold to be found in there. Of course, people that I was told by our property manager, we have a property manager in the company, his name's Phil Blair. I was told one time that, well, yeah, if you don't have good credit, you can't lease either, so someone that's been leasing for a long time, that is paying some substantial fees in rent, make a really good buyer. So these are people that you want to keep in your sphere and stay in contact with so that when they are ready to buy, they're going to reach out to you or you're going to call them at the right time. The rental finding services, we also have free rental finding services. So if you do have someone who's coming to the area to rent, or you get called and you don't know what to do because they're renting and you're like, you don't have time to show them because you're showing other buyers, that sort of thing, you can send them free rental finding services. So we have a rental finding flyer and information online. So it's c21everest.com. So on our company website, under the relocation department, there's some services that are listed down there. And RentSmart is one of them. I have been working on getting this rebranded for a long time, so I apologize for the janky colors and old logo, but the information is still good. So it will tell you, why would you want to use a renter's resume? Do you guys know how hard it is to find a rental right now? Like rentals are going away really fast too. So we're low inventory on rentals as well. So just preparing a renter's resume is actually a really good thing. They'll still have to do applications and things. It doesn't take that away, but it's just the information in there is what they want to provide to a landlord or a company that may be interested in leasing with them. The other thing that we suggest is that they do a pet resume. So if they have a pet, to have a pet resume with a cute picture of their pet, telling them who their vet is, when their shots were, how often they groom them, do they walk them every day, like just anything you can provide for your pet in a resume format. I mean, it just makes it that much easier for them to want to rent to you, right? I think you can see how that would be beneficial. So just that kind of information that you're sending them. What are the documents you're going to need to get a rental in Utah or in California? That sort of thing. So the website we use the most, we used to suggest ksl.com, and now we're finding that Rentler is probably the best one to go to at this time. I don't know if you guys have any other suggestions, but that's the one that seems to be, it's kind of like the Zillow of rentals, like it seems to be like everybody puts their stuff on there, or it gets on there somehow. So keep that in mind too. And I also have an email that I can send you if you run into that and you want an email. So the people that we get as renters, we always send out the same information, and this is all part of it. So what if you have a person who can't find a home in the area they want, but they're looking to rent because they're not sure they want to buy yet. They're not sure how long they're going to be in the area. Well, Home Partners of America, and I'm not sure, I haven't gotten an update since COVID and everything, and the market's just been so crazy. And there's been so much demand, but Home Partners of America is a great resource for you to earn a commission with a renter. So what this is, a renter would actually pre-qualify with Home Partners, and that's a $75 application fee for them to enroll. They have to have a decent credit score. They can't be in the 500s, for instance, to qualify. But what Home Partners does, they allow their tenant to go out and look at homes and pick the home. And it has to be in a qualified area, but on Home Partners, there's maps and things of what qualified areas are. They're not going, it's harder in California to do this because the prices are so high there, and now they're getting so high in Utah. That's why I'm not sure how active they are in Utah right now. But one of our employees even has used this program successfully. They rented a property from Home Partners 2 years ago, and they have the right to purchase within 5 years at a designated price. And that price goes up like a certain percentage every year, more on a normal market. So what do you think they're feeling right now as far as like deciding to purchase that home? I mean, they'll have immediate equity in that. Like this is like perfect storm for them, right? But the market, it's market rent, but it's always going to be the higher rent rate. If you're picking your home, it's in the school district that you want, it's everything you want. Are you going to pay a higher rent for that? Most likely. And it's still market rent, but it's going to be the high end of market is what we've discovered over time. And I think they still have it on the Century 21 branded website, the main one, the big one. They have these homes on there and it says the rent rate for this home is, and it will have a rent rate for it. So if they're still doing that, I guess I should check that. I should write a note to myself, Home Partners.
So I have a question on that.
Yeah.
So on this Home Partners of America, it's people who are willing to rent their home or lease their home. They put their home on this.
No, it is, this would be for renters,
Okay.
not landlords. So these are renters. So if you have someone that feels really qualified, but they don't have a down payment, or they want to be in a specific area and they're thinking they want to rent for a couple of years before they purchase, but they can't find a rental in a certain area, but there are homes for sale in that market. This would be the program that you want to look at for them, because then they could pick the house they want to live in, but your buyer would actually be Home Partners of America. So,
oh, okay.
Does that make sense? So then Home Partners buys the home and leases it to the tenant. And then they sign a 1-year lease. And then every year there would be an increase to their rent over a 5-year period. And they can choose to continue renting or move on. There's no obligation to purchase. They just become a tenant of that property, but they have a right to purchase if they decide they want to. And all of that is determined up front. So the rent rate is determined up front. The increase every year is determined up front. The purchase price of the property at the end of the year, or my understanding is they can purchase any time during that year or in the next 5 years at the agreed price.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So it's kind of an interesting program. And like I said, it's more available in Utah than it is in California. But if you have someone that is, wow, you're so qualified to purchase, but you don't have a down payment, or, really we're not quite ready to purchase, but, we're able to make a payment, then this would be a program to consider, because you get the full commission on this. And then you put that person in your sphere of influence and you continue to follow up with them. How's the house? Like you just ask them questions about how things are going. And then when their lease is coming up, it would be a great time to find out, are you going to purchase the home? Do you think you want to look at other properties? Because they don't have to buy that house. It's just an option for them at that point. So it's a really cool program. And you can go in and you can get training and everything from that website. All right, another thing we provide to all of our agents is this community information. And I guess I'm thinking I'm getting 2 meetings confused, but this is something that's also on the, it's under community info, and it's under the relocation section on c21everest.com. And how this works, you go in here and they can click on welcome home, culture and recreation, all these buttons up here. And it will actually talk about these things. Community profiles goes into, it's done by county. So they can go in and find out all the county offices. The welcome home part, like it has tax information, where you can get a driver's license, what schools are available in each area, you know, all of that information. And how it works is this company that put this together for us, they have everything linked to live links. So that information is always up to date. It's always accurate because it's going to the driver's license division, or it's going to different areas of interest, but it's all there in one place for them. So you can use this for any of your clients moving anywhere in Utah. And what if they're moving out of state? So we send an email out and it has the link to this map. And let's say your person's moving to Texas. They're going to Dallas. So they open Texas, they go to Dallas. They get the same information for Dallas that's provided by this company. So we purchased this nationally so we could offer this to our clients that are moving out of state. There are a few states that don't have information in them yet. Idaho is one of them. I've thought about paying for it because we moved so many people to Idaho, so it's a little frustrating. But Texas, you know, all the, you know, California, all these areas have this information, and it's just kind of nice that they have a resource and that we're sending it to them. So business benefits for your clients, we've already talked about this. Pods and budget, like I said, are the two biggest. I need to fix the slide because Lowe's is no longer something that they're partnered with. And this is changing all the time, right? So make sure you're aware of any changes. But I know the pods is still active. I know budget's still active. I know they have hotels, hotel discounts that they can offer people. So if they're moving out of state and it's taking them a few days to get there, you know, they can utilize that benefit for hotel stays. Okay, we've talked about all that. All right, the concierge service. So the outgoing referrals, broker to broker outgoing, and Everest moves, which is the concierge service, are the two things you're going to utilize most. I'm just going to say, like, these are, unless you really actively start looking for ways to create affinity partnerships or things like that, these are the two things you're going to run into the most. So this actually goes to your clients automatically. When you join the company, you are enrolled into this Everest Moves program. What's great about this program is that you have total control over it. All right. So the way you're set up is that when you list a home, when that contract goes into effect, then information is sent out. Your clients are contacted through you. So you're like, what do you mean through me? Well, everything that goes to your clients is branded with you. The initial email will come from you through Everest Moves. We do this partnership through a company called Move Easy. So Move Easy partnered with Century 21 last year. And we all found out about it at the last conference that we attended right before COVID came up. And we had just partnered with them prior to that. So this is something we provide, and it was too hard to get everybody to enroll. So we just enrolled everybody, and now you can go in and change it if you want. So when you put something under contract, the email comes to you first, and it says within 48 hours, your client's going to receive an invitation to participate in this program. And you can click on there right there and say, nope, don't send it out. A reason you wouldn't send it out would be if you're selling a lot. No one's going to need these services on a lot sale, right? That's the only thing I can think of right now. I don't know. It's a one-off sale. They're selling a family, they're selling an inherited property or something. Like, they just don't need the services for moving. But the services are pretty cool. So this is just a picture of all the services, but just to outline a few of them. They'll actually have a dedicated human concierge to assist them with their move. I saw a video on this once, and they mentioned in the video that a woman was moving out of state and she wanted to take her car. And so they helped her sell her car. Like, it can go into some really different things there. It's actually a really great company. They really understand the needs for moving. And then their concierge is going to be the same person throughout their move. So anytime they have a question or anything, it's always going to be directed to that same person they're introduced to. Agent branded online dashboard, and everything's agent branded. So if you gave us a picture when you joined the company, which hopefully you did, or sometime, it should be branded with your picture and your phone number and your email. So whatever those are that you received from, and are part, because all this goes through Dash, right? So anything you gave us is what's going to be used for this. They're going to have a scheduling, moving, and self-storage services. So I've actually looked this up on the site and just to see what it's like. So I go in and I say, I need to look for storage companies, and they're going to pull those, it's going to pull up for them on some recommendations and various options. It's a little bit like Google, I would say, but the only ones they're going to have in there are going to be the top ones, meaning top rated, the top companies that have a need. So, and then setting up internet, cable, home security, utility information, they will do all of that for the client. What does that mean? So if someone works from home, which this is why the alcohol referral thing is also very important for you to be aware of, is because people can now work from home. And what we're seeing are people are moving to places they've always wanted to live because they can work from anywhere. So anyone that's working remotely has the opportunity to move to a remote area, right? So when they're setting up their internet and cable and all that, then what this concierge service is going to do is find out, do you work from home? What kind of internet do you need? How fast does it need to be? What kind of TV service have you been using? What do you like? You know, if they prefer satellite dish network, and then this company's then going to go out and get bids for them on what that looks like as a package deal. And they're going to come back to them and say, hey, we've contacted these 3 companies. These are your options in that area. This was available. Are you interested in signing up with any of them? And give them options, not just one, and get them set up. So for me, this would be so helpful. Like I don't bundle anything. I'm just paying out the nose. I'm sure I'm just dumb about it, but some people are really good at it. I'm not. This would have been a great service for me to use. They'll also set up their utilities, so their water, trash, all that for that area, and get it as far as they can. Once they get to things like social security numbers and that sort of thing, they don't want that information on file. They don't want to have that information. So they will then call the client and say, hey, we got you to this point. This is what you have to do to get it finalized. But they'll give them directions on how to finish it. But can you imagine saving the time calling all these companies, being online with them and going through all the sales pitches with them, and how much time that would save you and agony? Like, to me, that is just such a great thing. And you can use that here locally, move to move, or nationally. All right. Then they have free mail forwarding, which it's only $1.50 to forward your mail from one house to the other, but it's something they don't have to take care of. It's just done for them. Assistance with engaging your preferred vendors and other home pros. So on your site, you can actually go in and add vendors if you have some that you like to use, that you like to recommend. We want to make sure that there's a disclaimer in there. I need to go make sure that that's in there, but if you add them to your site, then that will be a recommendation direct from you. And if they ask for that, that's what's going to come up. Personalized week by week moving checklist. So maybe you have something already that you give your clients as a moving checklist, but if you don't, this is already done. And so if they have the move dates, which typically you're going to have, and this is the contract for a purchase, and this is their move date, and this is where they're moving to, then you're going to have, they're going to create a week by week moving checklist for them. And then also Amazon Alexa. And I know that they're expanding on this. This is a year ago. So I know they're creating an app for the clients to use. And as soon as that's done, which I think it's close, we're going to relaunch to the company and train everybody on how to use it. But what happens if they have Alexa and it's a month after closing, 6 months after closing, a year after closing, they say, Alexa, I need a painter. It's going to connect to that concierge service. And they're going to say, your agent, Tanner Critchlow, she recommends that you use this painter, or is going to be working, it connects back to you is what I'm saying. So everything is branded for the agent. So it's not a bad service. It's a really great service. But if you don't know about it and you start getting surprised by emails and things, that's what I don't want to have happen. I want you to know about it so you can talk to your clients about it and let them know to expect a contact from the concierge service. There's a branded concierge site, and we don't really promote this just because we haven't set up all our vendors. So we're working on that, and we'll bring that up on the relaunch. There's branded emails. So that's the first thing that goes out. And then live concierge contacts. So they will email and call your client as an initial contact. So if we're looking at the contact for a listing, it goes live, or it goes as a listing, or it goes under contract as a buyer. The client gets a branded invite from the agent. So this is where you'll get it 48 hours before it goes out to the client. All right, that's your notification. And you can stop it right there, or you can let it go. Then within 24 hours, the concierge person gets assigned and then contacts the client to introduce themselves. They'll do this via email, and they'll also do this via phone. Then your client can decide, I just want to be online. I don't want to talk to anybody, or they can use the actual assigned concierge service provider. And some people really prefer to do phone calls still, and some people don't, you know, so it's kind of a open-ended thing for them, which they choose to use. So here's some instructions for you. If you want to get into the site, it's c21everest.moveeasy.com. And your login information should be your email on file with Everest. So whatever email they have for you that they've either assigned to you or that you've given them to use for you, that should be your sign in. And at that point, you'll just ask to reset your password, and you can go in and get that done. Then I encourage you to explore the site. So you can go in and add clients. So let's say you have a listing coming up, but they want to use the service for painters and things like that. The concierge service can help them with all of that. They do all the research for them and get them bids. If they're like using household goods move, like they want a full move service, they'll get them 3 bids for that. Like there's some great services out here, but you can add them early. And as long as you use the same email address for them when you're doing their transaction, they won't receive a second email. So when when they do go under contract, then they won't receive a second, introduction email or anything like that. You can turn on or off the auto emails. So if you don't want them sent out and you're like, it's too much to learn, I don't want to offer the service to them, I don't want anything to do with it, you can go in there and say, I don't want this to be done. You can just set up vendors like we talked about, and you can also adjust the messages that are going out to your clients if you want to make it more personalized to you. So it's a pretty cool service, and you don't need to mess with it, but if you want to, and you don't want to be part of it, or you want to send things out on your own, you have the total control over the whole thing. All right. Any questions about the concierge service? Ooh. No? All right. Relocation team. So we pretty much get to the end and you're like, I want to get some of that incoming business. Why would I want that? Well, like we discussed earlier, like you must have 2+ years full-time real estate experience to be on the full relocation team, 10 or more closings per year of your own business, and participate in sending outgoing broker-to-broker referrals and or agent-generated referrals. Please ignore USAA. That's no longer a program. It's Realogy military rewards, like we talked about. And so, hey, if Robert keeps sending all these referrals out, he's going to be on my mind, and he's going to, when we have some need coming up, we're going to talk to his broker and we're going to find out how many closings he has per year, because he's participating in the relocation business, right? So just make sure you're sending your outgoing referrals if you have any interest of being on the team eventually. You're going to be in good standing with excellent service track records. So those real satisfied surveys that come back, we're going to look at those. We're going to look at your site, see what the feedback is, that sort of thing. And you need to be recommended by the broker. And then you agree to and pass the CARDS background check. And that is $85 background fee. You comply with all the training certification requirements. There is a fee every year for certification, and you do have to recertify every year. So that's what I'm talking about. Like these agents that are on the team, like they put in a lot of time and effort to receive this business that we're receiving as a company. There's other options for those of you that have had 5 transactions close. At that point, you may qualify to participate on some of the e-lead teams. So if you're kind of in that space where you're like, yeah, I'm interested, then let me know. The referral fee on that is going to be 40% off the top. Most of that's going out the door to the other company that is that's sending us the business. All right. And then you're on an 80-20 split, regardless of what your company split is. And that business does not go towards your caps and company splits. The outgoing referral business that you send, or the agent generated business that you send, does. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean by that? If not, raise your hand, or take yourself off mute. Okay, well, I am going to stop sharing the screen. And then I'm gonna ask for a little interaction from you guys. How do I stop sharing screen? Where is it? Okay, let's see. Stop sharing. Here we are. Okay, so did you learn anything today? You know what I want to hear?
Yes.
Yes, Joan. What did you learn?
I had no idea how amazing that this program is. I mean, I have one client that's probably moving
Yes.
from Missouri to Texas.
Oh, good.
So I
Yeah.
can, give him more information that I could yesterday. So
Oh, good. Great, Joan. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rick's not on mute. Rick, did you learn something? He's like, I'm not saying anything. I may not be on mute, but hopefully anyone else have anything to share? Give me some feedback. What would you like to know more about? That's it. All right. Well, see how easy and painless that was, and you're going to get done early today. I went through it really fast. I think the bottom line really for me is that, I'm here as a resource for you. The department's here as a resource for you. And if you run across any weird business, that doesn't make sense, come to Relo and see if it's something we know something about. So, but anyway, hopefully you use some of these resources that have been provided. You'll definitely see the Everest move stuff coming up in the future. We've got an app that we're going to launch for outgoing referrals. So then, if Robert has another referral he wants to place, he can do it on his own and he can pick the agent and everything. So it's cool. It's a really cool app. If there's not a network broker, then it comes to us as a traditional placement and we'll handle it for you like we did in the olden days. And someone's asking for my contact information. So I'll just give that to you. It's Heather Barker. Actually, I'll send it in an email with that Russ will send out to you. My contact information will be on that, but it's 801-449-3020. And my email is just heather.barker@c21everest.com. And I'll make sure that my cell phone's on the email and everything. So if you have to text or whatever, you're welcome to do that. So, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And let's just party on. Okay. So have a good day. Have a great time. And thank you for being here with me today.